Greetings to everyone. Today, let us nourish our minds with wisdom so that we may awaken from the cycle of suffering, the cycle of mental fabrication. The voice I am speaking now, this itself, is the cycle of suffering, the cycle of fabrication. We have become trapped in the world of fabrication, unaware that we are the mind, the formless life element, vast, clear, and utterly pure, which has always been with us. Right now, at this very moment, it is empty, it is clear, it is pure. Even as I speak these words, the mind remains empty, clear, and pure. It is always like this. The voice communicating now is what we have come to depend on. But do we believe this voice has any real substance? It has no form. It is merely a vibration arising within the vast, crystal clear emptiness of our being. It is simply an expression of the mind. We rely on the voice that speaks within us. For example, we might say in our mind, I really want to be rich. What can I do to have money like others? Then another thought arises. I should borrow some money from a friend, about 20,000, to invest in making something to sell. Do we see this voice speaking within the mind? We are thinking like this all the time. Have we ever noticed that we are depending on this voice? Why do we rely on it? This means we are a nature that has no voice of its own, and so we make use of voice to communicate, to fabricate understanding. Yet we do not realize that we are depending on these things right now. We also inhabit this body. This means we are a nature without form, so we take up a vessel that has form for the purpose of fabricating and learning about things, so that we may come to know that we are the mind, the formless, crystal clear, pure life element. This kind of knowledge is something no one in the world teaches. From the time we were born, our parents never told us. We are the mind, we are the life element, we have no form. We are a nature that is vast, clear, and utterly pure, the original element. We are merely dwelling in this body for a short time, for the body does not last long. We do not only rely on the body, we also depend on voice, on mental images, on emotions. We rely on pleasant emotions, on unpleasant emotions, on neutral emotions, on peaceful emotions, on feelings of satisfaction or dissatisfaction. We depend on them constantly. The awareness that is present now, the hearing of this voice, is the mind producing the function of knowing, so it can register whatever comes into contact with it, detecting sense on its own, hearing sounds on its own, seeing on its own, tasting on its own, sensing the touch of air on the skin on its own. It is always knowing. All of these functions, even the act of remembering, whether memory is clear or unclear, we rely on them all the time. Observe carefully. It performs its own functions. There is nothing here that is truly us. Therefore, let us not suffer over anything at all. Every appearance belongs to itself. See this clearly. If only our parents had taught us this, it would have been good. But at school, no teacher ever taught it. If there had been a teacher guiding us in this way, it would have been good. After graduation, no one teaches it. If only someone had taught us like this, it would have been good. Instead, we are taught to think, to remember, to believe that we are human beings, to bow down and worship whatever stands before us, to become servants of money. We create paper and call it money, then become slaves to the very thing we have made. We struggle, compete, and even harm one another for the paper we have agreed to call money. And what do we use it for? To buy food, to eat, then sleep, then wake up, only to become servants of money again for the sake of food. Eat, sleep, wake up, living this way until, in the end, the body grows old declines, and dies. And what do we truly gain from having changed so many vessels? This body may die, but we do not die. We are the mind, pure consciousness, the life element. When this body dies, we simply find another body. Once there is a new body, that body comes to life. Remove the mind from a body, and that body dies. If the mind were drawn out of our body right now, this body would collapse and begin to decay. The heart would no longer beat. The brain could no longer think, because the life element is gone. Therefore, when the body dies, we go in search of a new one. Why does the mind go looking for another body? When will it stop being born? If it did not go to find a new body, the cycle would end. But instead, the mind seeks out another body, another vessel. It might take the form of an aquatic creature. When that aquatic body dies, we find another, continuing in the world of aquatic life for a long time, eating and being eaten. When they eat us, we feel anger, resentment, and ill will toward them. When we eat them, they feel the same toward us. We are bound together in this way, returning as parents, siblings, children, grandchildren. We have been born into such entanglements countless times. We have had millions of children. We have had millions of parents. We have had millions of husbands or wives. We have had countless friends, acquaintances, and beings with whom we are close, beings we resent, beings who are our enemies. We keep being born, tied to one another without end. This is the cycle. When the body dies, we take up a new vessel, sometimes as a land creature, sometimes underground, sometimes as a bird. Most of the time we are born as animals. The chance of being born as a human is extremely rare, for the percentage of human birth is very small. Among aquatic creatures, how many are there, and how many kinds, from the largest to the smallest? They are countless, infinite. The same is true for land animals, creatures underground, and birds, truly infinite. And how many humans are there? Very few. If we were to count every grain of soil on this earth, they would represent the infinite number of mind essences dwelling in the vessels of animals. But the few grains of soil we could pick up between two fingers, these represent the minds inhabiting human bodies, just a tiny fraction. All the rest are in animal form. Yet even when we are given a human body, we live no differently from animals, seeking food and sleeping, waking up only to seek food and sleep again. We struggle for food, for land, for water, for air, for fire. We fight over bodies, desiring a husband or wife, a father or mother, a child. We have had children countless millions of times. In truth, everyone on this earth has been our parent, sibling, relative, child, or grandchild at some point. Everyone has been our grandfather, grandmother, uncle, or aunt. Everyone has been our brother, sister, animal companion, spouse, friend, or acquaintance. Even animals have been connected to us before. We and all other mind essences have been bound together in endless cycles. In this life, we may be husband and wife. When the body dies, in the next life, we might be parent and child. In another, we might be friends. In another, enemies. In yet another, husband and wife again. Back and forth it goes, always the same. The point is, our mind seeks a new body every time. Even if we are born human and excel in our studies, even if we earn 8 million doctoral degrees, it is in vain. At the moment of death, the mind knows nothing of them. It simply goes to find a new body, unaware. The knowledge we acquire in this world does nothing to free us from the cycle of birth and death. Every time we are born, we struggle, from waking to sleeping, like being trapped in a cage, forced to work endlessly to feed the vessel we inhabit. Then we are born again, perhaps as an animal, only to be eaten by others, to feel anger, hatred, and resentment toward them again. Round and round it goes, most of the time as animals. As I have said, to be born as a human, the most advanced of all living beings, is rare, and yet no one teaches the knowledge of awakening to the mind. That is the heartbreaking part. As long as the mind does not know itself, it will keep seeking a new vessel until it finally acquires the best instrument for learning its own nature. Who would imagine that our true nature is the formless life element? In the past, I understood things just as the human world does, that I was a human being, living like any ordinary person, with a family, striving for survival. But from childhood, there had always been a question in my heart. Why are we born? What do we truly seek? I had everything already: house, car, family, yet it still was not what I wanted. There was a sense of needing something, but I did not know what it was. Then one day, I turned back against the current and awakened within. I saw the thoughts, saw the voice speaking inside. Tears fell. There was a sudden breakthrough. I kept observing and saw that the thoughts arising, the mental images appearing, the emotions manifesting, the memories, the present act of knowing, the awareness of sound, of scent, of sight, this knowing that is happening all the time. None of it is me. All these phenomena are not me. When that realization came, it was as if everything shattered into the finest particles, a complete explosion in the center of the chest, leaving nothing behind. At that moment, the truth was seen. Who would have known that we are the formless life element, utterly clear, utterly pure, merging into the life element of the whole universe? It was radiant, crystal clear, pervading all. Tears flowed. There was lightness, spaciousness. How could it not be light and spacious when it had no form? Never before in life had there been such lightness and openness. It was as if nothing remained in the head at all. It felt like all the knowledge and conditioning, from the belief that I was human since childhood up until now, had been scooped out and thrown away, as if the brain itself were gone. Everything was open and empty. There was no longer any sense of being human. Instead, there was an inner awakening, bright, pure, pristine beyond measure. Who would have known that we are this pure essence? When it was realized, tears came again. And yet, I could only think, how could a human understand this? We have never truly been born into this world, yet we come to believe we are human. Oh, how can I explain this so humans will understand? The voice that speaks, it is not our voice. We are the original, elemental nature. The speaking voice is a fabrication. The mental images we form are fabrications. They are not us, only expressions of us. Emotions are also expressions of us, not us. Even knowing happening now, it knows on its own. It is not us knowing. It knows by itself. We are the crystal clear, utterly pure life element. When it became clear, utterly apparent, that I am this original pure element, all sense of being human was gone. There remained only purity, and this purity is here now, always. Even as I speak, there is no feeling that I am speaking. It is simply an activity functioning on its own. Who can see this? When the mind speaks inwardly, when it thinks inwardly, it does so by itself. Who can see it? It may think, what shall I eat? Should I have pizza? Or maybe a burger? Or perhaps I'll make a sandwich instead. It thinks like this all the time. Or it thinks, what is the neighbor doing? Why is it so loud? Are they arguing? Do we see that it is thinking all the time? Do we see the voice speaking in the mind? This inner voice is always there. Try it. Say inwardly, I'm hungry. What should I make to eat? Try speaking in your mind. The mind has no mouth, yet it can speak. Notice this. Try speaking inwardly, and notice that we are also aware of the voice speaking inside. There is one nature that is watching, and another nature that is speaking. The one that sees or knows is a nature whose function is to know and to watch. The other nature's function is to think, producing the inner voice. We will see that there is the one who knows and sees, and the one who speaks, and neither of these is us. We are the formless life element, the original element that created these two functions. They are simply instruments, tools for fabricating, for learning about all things, and for learning about themselves. Whoever understands this will be freed from suffering forever. When this was realized, it was as if the whole body shattered into the finest particles, as though the entire universe had exploded into absolute stillness. Only vast, crystal clear emptiness remained. It was like discovering that all the dimensions we had created were never real, and then watching every dimension collapse into pure clarity. Let me put it plainly. Nothing whatsoever truly exists with its own inherent self. When this body dies, what remains is the mind and its expressions, what we may call spirit. Each time the body dies, the spirit immediately drifts in search of a new body, beginning the process of learning again. As long as it does not have the final answer, it will continue to seek new bodies endlessly. We have taken on forms of every type of creature, every particle, every atom, from the smallest to the largest, throughout the universe. We have been them all. We have been human many times, practicing many methods in search of liberation from suffering. We have been husband and wife, parents and children, beloved beyond measure and hated beyond measure. We have experienced the deepest joys, the deepest sorrows, great merit, little merit, the greatest wealth. We have been through it all, and yet the mind has always gone in search of a new body again. Have we ever noticed why, the moment the body dies, the mind goes searching for a new body? Have we ever truly observed this? As long as the mind has not awakened to the fact that it is the pure element, as long as it has not seen clearly that all things have no inherent self, as long as it has not realized its own nature as the pure element, so long will it continue to seek a new body without end. Every time it takes on a new body, it immediately clings to the belief that it is that creature, because parents teach it to seek food and shelter in order to sustain the body and care for one another. Thus social life is formed, and it is disheartening, for we have never learned the knowledge of awakening to the mind. This is why I tell all of you, share the recordings on the Panyawimutti channel so that everyone in this world may hear. Children, the elderly, the disabled, women, men, people of all beliefs, all religions, all nations, all ethnicities, all genders, all ages. All can listen without division. Every one of us has a mind, the life element that is empty, clear, and pure. Yet we do not know the mind, do not awaken to it. Instead, we become attached to this lump of body as if it were us, even though it is not. We become attached to fabricated activities, which are not us. The voice that speaks is not our voice, yet we mistakenly believe it to be ours. It is like clinging to the belief that this earth is our earth, when in truth it is not ours. It belongs to nature. It is like believing that the air we breathe is our air, when in reality air has no form and no owner. We cling to the belief that this piece of land is our land, yet the earth belongs to the planet. We believe that this tree is our tree, yet it belongs to the earth. We even believe that fragrant air, foul air, oxygen, or carbon dioxide is ours, when in truth air belongs to the world, with no one as its owner. We believe that goodness is ours, that evil is ours, but in truth neither goodness nor evil belongs to anyone. They have no form, no self. They are merely mental fabrications we have created through thought. Oh, come to think of it, we have imagined it all ourselves. This is the point. When I first saw the truth, when I first truly saw a thought, I wept. In fact, I had been seeing it since childhood, but never understood it. Then suddenly, it clicked. Oh, everything in this world exists because we think it. All of it. We think it into being. And then, boom, it exploded. It was as if the mind itself burst apart. The belief that I was a human being collapsed entirely. That was the first time. Oh, the lightness, the spaciousness. Never before had there been such lightness and openness. It was as if the brain had been scooped out, leaving no brain at all, completely light and open. It was like becoming air, merging with all things. After that, I saw with exquisite clarity, until I knew that even the act of knowing was not me. And then I understood the truth. I had never truly been born into this world. Now, let us turn inward and truly know ourselves. Listen to my talks again and again. Listen until my voice resounds in your mind at all times. Then you will awaken to your own mind, and tears will flow. I have known people who listened to my talk just once, a single recording, and boom, it exploded for them. The realization burst forth, and they wept, crying for 3 days and nights, knowing that they were the pure element. There was nothing but purity everywhere. This is who we are, a nature without spoken language. Let me explain this clearly so you can understand. There are 3 levels to what we call ourselves. The first level is the most mistaken, believing this body to be us. This is the height of delusion. Try removing the body in your mind. Where then is the self? The ignorant mind, without wisdom, without awakening, will always seek a new body. When this body dies, it will find another. This process goes on without end. Remember, as soon as the body dies, the mind seeks a new one. This means we are not this body. Do you understand? If it takes a body as an aquatic creature, it believes it is that creature. When that aquatic body dies, it becomes a land animal and believes it is that. It believes it is a cat, believes it is a tiger. When that body dies, it may take an underground form, like an earthworm, and believe it is an earthworm. When the worm dies, it may be born as a bird, believing it is a bird again. No matter what form it takes. Do you understand this? This is the outermost layer of self, the surface illusion, our own ignorance. We assume we are human. This vessel is only something we inhabit temporarily. We are not human, and we have never truly been born into this world. This is the outer shell of self. Remove it completely. Now, let us go 1 layer deeper. You must truly understand this. The second layer is the layer of the subtle body. This layer has no form. It is the realm of fabrication, an energy that, when it fabricates, becomes something. It becomes a voice. The voice speaking right now. This is the second layer. The vibration that forms into voice is energy surging forth from the original element, a frequency of sound. This is an instrument we have always relied upon, and we even mistakenly believe it is us. This second layer is the realm of voice, of images, of emotions, whether satisfaction or dissatisfaction, happiness or suffering. We want pleasant emotions and comfort. We do not want unpleasant emotions and discomfort. But whatever form emotion takes, it is the same thing. It is simply emotion. Fabricated activities, voice, image, emotion, memory, and knowing. These five make up the subtle body. The knowing that is present now, hearing my voice. See how it knows on its own. It smells on its own. It tastes on its own. It sees on its own. The knowing that is here now. These voices, images, emotions, memories, and the act of knowing. This is the subtle body, the fabricated nature we continually rely on. And yet we believe, I am the one knowing. I am the one understanding. I am the one speaking right now. I am the one imagining. I am the one who is angry, happy, sad, glad, and suffering. We believe the self of this second layer truly exists. If it really were us, could we command it to feel good all day? Could we tell it to think only good thoughts, to imagine only good images, to feel only pleasant emotions, to know only good things, to remember only happy memories? We cannot. One moment it thinks this, another moment it thinks that. One moment it pictures this, another moment it pictures that. One moment it feels pleased, another moment displeased. One moment it knows in this way, another moment in that way. One moment it remembers, another moment it forgets. These natures are functions of the mind, fabricated phenomena, and these are exactly what we mistake for ourselves. The ignorant beings of the world cling to the physical vessel as self, and also cling to thought, imagination, emotion, memory, and knowing as self. The wise, however, see that these two, gross body and subtle body, are not us at all. The subtle body is simply fabrication. It is not us. If we see that these are not us through direct observation within, then when a thought arises inside, what shall I eat? Or it thinks, I should sweep the house, it's so dirty. If we can see that this inner voice is speaking by itself, without a self behind it, then when we see this clearly, tears will fall. There will be a great release, lightness and freedom. It is as if we suddenly see, oh, the voice speaking is not me speaking. Yes, it is not us speaking. The moment we see this, we will know there is no me at all. We have never truly been born into this world. We see it thinking, imagining, feeling emotions, knowing by itself. Notice carefully, when we walk past a shop grilling meat, the moment we pass, the smell instantly strikes the nose. In that very instant, it knows the scent, immediately, automatically. The moment that knowing arises, if we can see, oh, it knows on its own, then where is the me? Seeing this, understanding this, we realize it smells on its own. Then, the moment it smells, it instantly thinks, that smells delicious. A thought arises, and meaning is given right away. All of this is happening by itself. When this is seen and understood in that instant, there is a breakthrough. The sense of being human bursts apart into the finest particles. It is as if thought, knowing, and fabrication all shatter completely. What remains then? It is like removing the body, leaving only thought, imagination, emotion, knowing, and memory. Then we remove thought, remove imagination. Try it. Close your eyes if you like. Remove the body, leaving no form. What remains is sound. Remove the sound. What remains is mental imagery. Remove the imagery. What remains is emotion, whether happiness, sadness, satisfaction, dissatisfaction, neutrality, peace. Remove all of it. What remains is memory. Remove memory. What remains is the act of knowing. Remove the knowing. What is left? Nothing at all. This nothingness is not nothing, in a negative sense. It is emptiness, clarity, purity. This is our true nature, the origin, the original element. We are the original life element, formless, empty. crystal clear, utterly pure. If we simply understand the mind's functioning in this way, the voice speaking is not me speaking. It is a natural process speaking on its own. Then tears will flow. There will be an opening, a lifting of weight. Joy may arise. Oh, even joy is just an appearance. It happens on its own. When feelings of dissatisfaction arise, when the signs of anger or discontent appear, oh, these too are just appearances. They arise on their own. We see the signs of anger forming, the signs of boredom, weariness, loneliness, sadness. Each one is just an event happening on its own. When we see the signs of anger forming, or the signs of depression, loneliness, sadness, oh, these states are functioning on their own. The moment we can see that these processes are working by themselves, we will understand. So the reason I suffer is because I flow along with emotion. If emotions are simply natural phenomena, then why do we flow along with them? And then the mind will almost scold itself. If that's the case, then I have nothing to do with emotions at all, so I don't have to suffer anymore, right? Yes, if we see that all emotions are natural processes functioning on their own, not us, then the moment we truly see this, we are freed entirely from suffering. This is the body of knowledge called wisdom. And the more we see that the knowing happening right now is knowing on its own, that hearing happens on its own, that smelling happens on its own, the more we realize it is constantly aware of emotions by itself. While we know an emotion, who is the one knowing it? An emotion appears for a certain nature to be aware of it. That nature that is aware, it is functioning on its own. There is no someone who knows. It knows by itself. When we see that it knows on its own, that emotions arise on their own, that both appearances and awareness happen by themselves, then both dissolve together. The moment we see and understand that they are not us, the question arises, then where is this me? At that instant there is an explosion, as if everything has been thrown away, as if it has loosened itself completely from all things. Then it realizes it is the pure element. This is all the mind has ever wanted to know, that we are the pure life element. Picture it another way for clarity. Imagine we are an eye. Or better yet, imagine we are the original element, like a nose. The nature of the nose is to receive sense, but the nose cannot know it is a nose unless it turns inward in awareness. The nose detects scent. It functions by recognizing smell. Now it uses this act of knowing scent to recognize something. For example, when it catches the fragrance of a certain flower, jasmine, in the moment it smells jasmine, who assigns the label, "This is jasmine." The nose itself cannot give meaning. Its only role is to detect scent. The act of recognizing the smell then becomes the knowing of jasmine. Jasmine is an object known. Do you understand this point? Jasmine naturally gives off its fragrance. That is the nature of jasmine. The scent is not jasmine itself. The scent is merely an expression, an activity of jasmine. Our mind is exactly like this. If our mind were like jasmine, then the nature of the mind would have its own expressions: thought, imagination, emotion, memory, and knowing. All of these are expressions of the mind, but they are not the mind itself. Do you understand? The mind is the life element, vast, empty, crystal clear, utterly pure. It is the Dhamma element, the original element of all things, the immortal element, unchanging, neither coming nor going, never born, never breaking apart. It is beyond time and space, perfectly pure. The nature of the mind gives rise to these expressions: thought, imagination, emotion, knowing, memory. These are functions of the mind, but not the mind itself. Whoever understands this will see the end easily. Understand that these expressions are not the mind. Do not cling to them. That is all. We are the pure element itself. It is the same with jasmine. It has an expression, fragrance. The fragrance is not jasmine itself. It is merely an expression. Jasmine naturally releases scent, and there is a faculty that detects it, the nose. If we compare it to the nose cannot know it is a nose. The nose has no way of knowing it is a nose until it makes use of its own expression, the act of detecting scent, and sends this act of detection outward to contact something, which we call jasmine. When the nose sends out the impulse of detection and receives the scent of something, of jasmine, it recognizes the fragrance and gives it the label. This fragrance is jasmine. There is the object known, the jasmine, and there is the act of knowing, the detection of scent. This act of detection is an expression of the nose. The nose is the origin. It creates the act of detection so it can detect jasmine. Do you see? Jasmine is simply something known, external, yet brought inward slightly through the act of perception. The act of perception is an expression of the nose. We use the act of perception to know jasmine. Jasmine is not the nose. The act of perceiving scent is not the nose. The nose is the original element. To know that we are the nose, we must rely on its expression to detect various things. But whatever is detected, whether jasmine, rose, any flower at all, or even the smell of decay, these are external things. They are not us. If we wish to know what we really are and why we can perceive, we must use perception to contact different things. But all the things contacted are certainly not us. In the same way, this body is certainly not us. There is an act of knowing happening. This act of knowing is not us. It is a quality we possess, a function that exists to allow perception. If we can see that the act of perceiving fragrance is not us, and then turn inward and ask, if the act of perception is not me, then where is this me? Then we arrive at the origin of that perception, the nose. This is a rough analogy, given so that you can understand in a simple way. Soon, the same understanding will apply to the mind itself. When there is a nose, scent can be detected. When there is the act of perception, jasmine can be known. We are the mind. We are the pure element. And we will never be able to know that we are the mind, the pure element, unless we have an instrument. Understand this point clearly. Whoever understands it will be free from suffering over anything at all. Suppose we are the eye. The eye cannot know it is the eye. By its nature, the eye cannot see itself and cannot know it is the eye. But the nature of the eye is that it has vision. This is called the act of seeing, or the act of knowing. This act of seeing is an expression of the eye. It arises from the eye. Because there is the eye, there is seeing. Therefore, seeing arises from the eye. And what does this act of seeing see? It sees physical objects. It sees jasmine. But the seeing of the eye is simply seeing. It relies on the act of seeing to become aware of an object. That object has no name. If we take jasmine as an example, the act of seeing simply sees something, a certain image. That image is certainly not us. When it perceives something, it cannot know what that thing is. How can it know? It must think, give value, assign meaning. It must rely on thought to say, that is jasmine, and then remember, this is jasmine. Do you see the role of the instrument here? If there were no voice, thought, to give meaning, it would remain nothing more than the recognition of a certain image. If you can understand this, you will understand the entirety of the infinite universe. You will understand how the mind is and how it functions. Grasp this, and you will grasp it all. There are 3 layers in total. The innermost layer is the I. The I here is the analogy for us, for what we truly are. In the analogy, this is the real us, but by its nature, we cannot know what we are. The I cannot know it is the I. It must rely on an instrument. And what is the instrument of the I? It is seeing, knowing through sight. This act of seeing sends out a stream, performing the work of perceiving and recognizing. This act is an expression of the I. It is certainly not the I itself. Yet we must rely on it, only rely on it. The act of seeing has no form. It is a mental phenomenon, an expression, a kind of energy that performs the function of seeing. It has no shape, no substance. The act of seeing is not the I. If you understand this, then you will understand the mind as well. Exactly the same principle. When we cannot know that we are the I, we instead rely on the act of seeing. We rely on this act of seeing to see something, to see an image. That image is certainly not us, yet we cling to it as if it were us. This is the crucial point. We are the I, using the act of seeing to behold that image. There are 3 layers here. The image is the outermost, very coarse layer. The outermost layer has form. It is the image, a 3-dimensional form. The middle layer is the act of seeing. This has no form. It is the realm of energy, the energy of seeing, the act of seeing. This act of seeing belongs to a more refined dimension, the dimension of sight, a dimension with no form. Each layer has its origin. How does the image come to be? It exists because the act of seeing has seen it. The image appears because the act of seeing sees it. Do you understand? And where does this act of seeing come from? It comes into being because the eye produces it. This is the key. When the eye looks anywhere and sees something, it takes itself to be that image. This is the condition of being still lost in delusion. In the analogy, we are the eye. We look at something and believe it is us, or that it belongs to us. We assign value and meaning to it, calling it jasmine. For this, we rely on another faculty, the act of thinking. The eye cannot think. Its function is only to see and to have an image appear before it. It simply sees an image, that is all. But to know what that thing is, the mind must assign value and meaning to it through thought. Thought gives meaning to the thing. This is jasmine. Then it remembers that image with that name. This thing is jasmine. Do you see the way these functions work? The thinking officer assigns value and meaning to the thing, and then records it in memory for understanding. The eye's role is only to know. It simply sees, with an image appearing before it. If we are wise, and we truly want to know what we are, we must first have the aspiration. I want to know what I really am. Why can I see everything? What am I? We must turn back against the current. If we do not turn back, we will not know. But for those with no aspiration at all, they simply flow along, assigning meaning. Ah, I am jasmine. I am this body. Because whenever they see something, they immediately cling to it. The images they see are merely images, merely objects of sight. This is the coarsest layer, the layer of 3 dimensions, the realm of form, of physical matter. Now the act of seeing has no form, but it is a more refined dimension than the 3-dimensional realm. This dimension is formless. This middle layer is what we rely on. We depend on the act of seeing so much that we forget. We are not the act of seeing. Seeing is not us. It is only an activity. When we turn back and ask ourselves, wait, Does this seeing happen by itself? And where does this seeing arise from? If we trace it back, we see, the act of seeing comes from the eye. Are we the eye then? If we can simply understand this, then in a single moment of insight, there will be a flash of realization. Everything I see is not me. The image seen is not me. The act of seeing is not me. The one who sees, this is what I am. We are the I. Once we truly understand that we are the I, there will be a realization that the image is not us, and the act of seeing is not us either. Therefore, we will no longer suffer because of these things. That image, the image of the jasmine, whether it ages, withers, dies, or disappears, has nothing to do with us. We will certainly not suffer because of it. As for the act of seeing, whether it is clear at times, blurry at times, or not seeing at all, it has nothing to do with us either. Why is that? Because we are the I. We are not involved with the act of seeing. However the act of seeing is, let it be. Whatever happens to the image, whether it decays, is eaten by worms, withers, or is beautiful, it is still not us. Therefore the I realizes that it is the I, and has nothing to do with either the act or the object that is seen. That's it. The truth is simply like this. Now, turning inward to understand our own mind, we see that we have been mistaken in thinking this body is us. Why does this body seem to exist? Because our eye sees it, right? Try closing your eyes. Your body disappears. Now, where are your arms and legs? Can you see them? With your eyes closed, can you see your arms and legs? No, right? Then who told you that these are your arms and legs? Can you notice that it is the voice that says, this is the arm, this is the leg, this is the left leg, this is the right leg, this is the thumb, the index finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, the little finger? It is the voice speaking, isn't it? So where exactly is this self? There is only the voice. Close your eyes and you will not see. Then you imagine a body. You rely on imagination again. You imagine, and the image appears. You think, and the voice comes to say, these are my arms and legs. Right? Who can see this? Who can understand that this whole world appears because of thought, because of mental images, and because of assigning meaning? When we turn inward deeply, we will know our origin. And when one truly understands this, tears will fall. Oh, nothing is really us. We have been lost in the dimension of fabrication. And when we see clearly that none of this is us, at that moment, we will find our own pure essence. Now let's go further in and observe this. When we close our eyes, does the image we imagine have any real substance? Then that image disappears. This act of imagining is only a temporary phenomenon. Let's now look at the voice that is speaking in the mind. Where does it come from? Direct your attention deep inside the mind. Try speaking silently within. Can you see where this inner voice comes from? Can you notice that it arises from emptiness and dissolves back into emptiness? This voice is simply a certain phenomenon, like a ripple of energy, vibrating within emptiness. But the emptiness itself does not ripple. Rather, it is something vibrating along the edge of emptiness. Can you see that it is only a phenomenon arising from emptiness? A mental image is also a phenomenon arising from emptiness. A pleasant emotion is a phenomenon arising from emptiness. An unpleasant emotion is a phenomenon arising from emptiness. These things have no form, yet they perform their functions, just like the jasmine flower, whose fragrance is a phenomenon of the flower. Likewise, our mind has phenomena, the phenomenon of sound, the phenomenon of images, the phenomenon of emotions. We crave pleasant emotions and reject unpleasant ones. The voice we constantly rely on, the voice of our thinking, chattering all the time until we become mentally distressed. We cling to it. We depend on this phenomenon. But can you see that these phenomena are not us? They are only phenomena, only our tools. The phenomenon of knowing right now knows on its own. It hears a voice on its own. See, while you are speaking silently inside, there is a certain nature that knows this voice. That knowing is also a phenomenon. The phenomenon of knowing arises from the crystal clear emptiness of our mind. Memory, too, is a phenomenon that ripples into existence from the crystal clear emptiness of our mind. Sounds, mental images, all emotions, memory, and the act of knowing. These are all phenomena that ripple within emptiness and then dissolve back into emptiness. They arise from the emptiness of the mind and dissolve back into the emptiness of the mind. Who can see that none of these are us? The thinking happens by itself. The mental image happens by itself. The emotions arise by themselves. The knowing happens by itself. The remembering or forgetting happens by itself. Understanding or not understanding also happens by itself. Can you see that all of this functions entirely on its own? So, where is our self in all this? The voice speaks on its own. The knowing of the voice happens on its own. All of these phenomena are not us at all. Whoever can see in this way will awaken to the truth that we are the original element, the formless, crystal clear, utterly pure life element itself. If you can understand this, if you can awaken to this, rejoice, truly rejoice. May you continue to awaken to this truth. For those who have arrived and have awakened, tears will flow. There will be an outpouring, a release, the lightest freedom. You will know that you are the vast emptiness that embraces and permeates the entire cosmos, clear beyond measure, pure beyond measure. An extraordinary realization will arise. There is nothing in this world that is us or ours, not even the slightest thing. Rejoice if you can see in this way. It is just like the analogy of the eye. Whoever can turn inward and know like this will realize the mind, right here, right now. And now it is time to conclude. May all of you who have inclined your minds to listen and who aspire never to be born again, who aspire to be free from suffering, may you awaken to the mind swiftly and suddenly. May this be so for every one of you. If you're interested in these teachings on awakening, mind observation, and transcending suffering through wisdom, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your insights in the comments, provide productive feedback, and if you find this content valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.